following is an encore presentation of CBC Sports.
Maloney fakes the handoff. The long pass is intended for Ronnie Howell in the end zone, and Howell makes the catch for the touchdown.
At the 28, he breaks the first tackle, and Chris Wright, who has the ability to go all the way, could take it to the end zone.
The give is to Germany. He's in for the touchdown. Ford, touchdown.
Allen, wide open. Here's Baker with a move. And to the end zone, touchdown.
We begin our coverage of the 2007 Grey Cup Classics here at a historical site. This is Rosedale Park in Midtown Toronto, and it's where the first Grey Cup game was ever played in 1909. Now, the University of Toronto hasn't won a lot of football games lately, but they won here in that year, winning the first ever game 26-6 over the Parkdale Canoe Club. And here is the plaque that commemorates that occasion, mentioning that the Grey Cup originally cost $48. And my trivia mind reminds me that the Stanley Cup initially was $48.67. So the Grey Cup is worth 67 cents less than the Stanley Cup if you ever have a chance to purchase it, just so you know that kind of thing. Now, the first game we're showing you this year is the 1958 version. Last year, the Winnipeg Sun put together a panel that included our own Don Whitman, and they ranked the top 10 Grey Cup games in history. This game we're going to show you came in 6th. 1958, it was Winnipeg versus Hamilton. Both teams finished in first place in their respective divisions, but the Tiger Cats head coach Jim Trimble, he wasn't too impressed with the Blue Bombers. He said his team would waffle Winnipeg, which is, I guess, what passes for trash talk in 1958. So here it is, the Tiger Cats and the Blue Bombers, 1958, voted as the 6th best Grey Cup game ever played.
Jim Van Pelt, ready to start the 1958 edition of the Grey Cup. There we go. The kick is to Howell on the 13-yard line. He's across the 25 up to the 28-yard line, and he is knocked over by Tony Kerr. Kerr, number 90 for Winnipeg, and it's first down. After that 52-yard kickoff and 14-yard return, first down for the Tiger Cats on the 28-yard line. Bernie Filoni, the quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The pass is intended for Howell, and it's nowhere near him. Howell covered on the play by Nick Miller and Norm Lawhouse. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Tiger Cats. They're on their own 28-yard line. The starting offensive backfield for Hamilton, Bernie Filoni, Don Southern, Jerry McDougall, Howell, and Grant. Filoni's pass intended for McDougall. McDougall covered on the play by Gordy Rowland. And it's now 3rd down for Hamilton. And they send in the blockers for the punting team. The deep men for Winnipeg to receive the punt. On the left, Lateral. On the right, Gordy Rowland. Fraser gets the ball away. It's a low, wobbly kick. Seemed to go off the side of his foot. Picked up by Ron Lateral on the 55-yard line. Lateral up to the 50. The flag goes down on the field, and the officials are calling no yard on that 27-yard punt by Cam Fraser. Milt Campbell in there, too close on the play, along with Billy Graham of the Tiger Cats. And there is also another flag down on the field. And let's see what they're calling. The officials are calling first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, so there must have been interference on the line of scrimmage, past the line of scrimmage, on the punter going downfield. Interference called against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the punter going downfield after the football, so it's first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the 31-yard line for Hamilton. Bernie Filoni, the quarterback. He gets the rush put on him. Garland Warren comes up to try to make the tackle, and Filoni gets down, and it's marked at the 41-yard line. The tackle made by Cease Looney, Winnipeg's defensive right end. Looney, number 73. Very close to a first down. We'll see what the officials call. They're calling for the yardsticks. Bernie Filoni, trapped on that pass attempt, ran the football himself. Short by inches. Winnipeg Blue Bombers have made a defensive change. Kenny Plain has now gone in at halfback in place of Nick Miller on the left side. Plain, number 89. Second and inches to go for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, just inside their own 41-yard line. And the sun seems to be trying to work its way out here at Empire Stadium. Bernie Filoni, the quarterback. Filoni carries the football himself. It'll be very close to the first down. The official signal is first down. Buddy Tinsley coming up there to grab Filoni. First down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the 41-yard line. No score in the football game. The ball handed off to Jerry McDougall. McDougall grabbed by Buddy Tinsley. He's across the 45-yard line, and the officials spot the ball just over the 47. A 6-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Tiger Cats. Second and 4, Hamilton. On the 47. The pitch out is to Southern. Southern up across the 45, the 50, the 55-yard line into Winnipeg territory. Finally pulled over by Kenny Plain. It'll be first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the Winnipeg Blue Bomber 53-yard line. 12 minutes, 17 seconds remain in the first quarter. Eddie Macon flanked to the left. The handoff is to Southern. Southern met by Cease Looney, the defensive right end for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Correction, the handoff to Jerry McDougall, and Bernie Filoni is pulling the same tricks that he pulled several years ago in the Grey Cup final. I was positive that Southern had the football. Bernie Filoni, the master ball handler, who has been getting all those passing raves this year. Gain of 5 on the play. It will be 2nd and 5. The officials having trouble with the yardsticks. They've now put a second set into use in the football game. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, 2nd and 5. They're on the Winnipeg Blue Bomber 48-yard line. Maloney's pass down the center, caught by Paul Decker on the 38-yard line. Decker is dropped on the 36-yard line. Keith Pierce, the defensive right halfback for Winnipeg, making the tackle. And the bright sunshine here at Empire Stadium in Vancouver, putting long shadows on the ball field. 11 minutes, 22 seconds remain in the first quarter. No score in the football game, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the Winnipeg 36-yard line. Bernie Filoni is the quarterback. The fullbacks, McDougall and Southern. The handoff fake, and the pitch passes to Jerry McDougall. McDougall up to the 30-yard line, down to the 25, to the 20-yard line, to the 15, to the 10, and he is finally running to touch on the 9-yard line. Gordy Rowland coming in to make the tackle. There's a flag on the play. The penalty is against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg Blue Bombers called for illegal interference. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats, of course, refused the penalty because of the fine gain made by McDougall. Bernie Filoni, the quarterback, flips the lateral to Jerry McDougall. And McDougall down to the 10-yard line, down to the 5, and McDougall over for the touchdown. Jerry McDougall puts the Hamilton Tiger Cats in front in this football game. Hamilton 6, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers nothing. The Tiger Cats went 82 yards in 11 plays for that touchdown. Very important play along the way, the penalty on the third down punt. Hamilton had kicked to Winnipeg. Winnipeg penalized on the third down. Hamilton took over and went all the way for their touchdown. Steve Onishuk attempting the convert for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Bernie Filoni holding the ball. The kick is good, and the Tiger Cats lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7-0. Don Southern having trouble setting the football just the way he wants it. Coming at the ball from an angle. And he kicks a weird one. It goes down to John Barone of the Blue Bombers, dives on the football on the 42-yard line. And there is a flag goes down on the play. Dino DeNoble goes in there, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats are being called for roughing. A 23-yard kickoff on that very weird-looking kickoff by Don Southern. And referee Harry Bowden is going to spot the football on the Hamilton Tiger Cats' 54-yard line. First and 10 Winnipeg on the 54 on the starting offensive lineup for Winnipeg. The left end is Frank Gilliam, number 74. The right end is Ernie Pitts. The quarterback, Jim Van Pelt. The halfbacks are Lewis, and playing the fullback, Shepard and Barone. Van Pelt is the quarterback. The pass is over the head of Penny Plain and intercepted by Eddie Macon. Macon makes the interception on the 43-yard line, and he goes down to the 40, the 35, the 30 of Winnipeg. And he is finally run into touch on the 23-yard line. There are two flags down on the field. Eddie Macon making a spectacular interception for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Tiger Cats are being called for illegal interference on the play, and this time the Blue Bombers get the break. It's first down Winnipeg on the Hamilton Tiger Cats' 50-yard line. Seven to nothing, Hamilton over Winnipeg. Flank to the right is Leo Lewis. The handoff to Charlie Shepard. Shepard across the 50-yard line, and he stopped at the 45-yard line. Harry Lampin making the tackle on the play. Lampin, one of the four fine linebackers for the Tiger Cats. The gain is 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. 9 minutes, 45 seconds remain in the first quarter here in the 1958 edition of the Grey Cup. Winnipeg 2nd and 6. The handoff is faked to Barone, given to Leo Lewis. Lewis across the 40-yard line. And when the officials spot it, we'll see what they call it. Over the 40, first down, Winnipeg. The tackle made by Eddie Macon. Harry Lampman also in there. First and 10, Winnipeg on the 40-yard line. Hamilton 7, Winnipeg no score. Flank to the left this time, Leo Lewis. Van Pelt's passes seem to be deflected. Shepard couldn't hang on to it. Ralph Goldston covering Shepard on the play. The Hamilton Tiger Cats called for offside on the play. So it will be first down, Winnipeg, from the Hamilton 35-yard line. Less than 9 minutes remain in the first quarter. Lewis flanked to the left. The pass is to John Barone. Barone covered on the play by 2 Tiger Cats, including Tony Cristillo and Harry Lampman. It'll be 2nd and 5, Winnipeg. Winnipeg on the Hamilton 35-yard line. Hamilton 7, Winnipeg no score. Lewis flanks to the right this time. Charlie Shepard, the fullback, along with John Barone. There's a fumble on the play, and let's see who recovers. The ball is still loose, and it's picked up by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ralph Goldston picks up the football. He's on the 30, the 25. Ralph Goldston all by himself into the end zone for a touchdown. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers now trail the Hamilton Tiger Cats 13-0. John Barone and Jim Van Pelt having a mix-up on the Winnipeg backfield. And with 8 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first quarter, Hamilton leads Winnipeg 13-0. Steve Onischuk is in there to attempt the convert for the Tiger Cats. A flag down on the field. Buddy Tinsley, the Bombers' right tackle, goes in there. He's offside, but the point is good anyway, so the Hamilton Tiger Cats lead Winnipeg. Sutherland's kickoff goes farther this time. Goes to Leo Lewis on the 18-yard line. He's up to the 25, and he is hit on the 32-yard line. A fine tackle by Pete Newman of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Number 74 is Newman. A 47-yard kickoff and a 13-yard return. First and 10, Winnipeg, just over their own 31-yard line. Jim Van Pelt, the Bomber quarterback, graduate of the University of Michigan. Flank wide to the right, Leo Lewis. The handoff, Charlie Shepard. The handoff is to Leo Lewis, and Lewis takes the ball up to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 8 on the play. Dave Saminsky in there to make the tackle. Eddie Macon also in there. Gain of 8 and 2nd and 2 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the 40-yard line. Less than 8 minutes remain in the first quarter. The score 14-0 for Hamilton over Winnipeg. This time Lewis is flanked. Charlie Shepard gets the handoff. He goes across the 40-yard line to the 44. He's hit on the play by Ralph Goldston. Don Sutherland. First down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg on the 44-yard line of their own 44. They hand off to Kenny Plain. Plain up to the 45-yard line, met by Pete Newman, the defensive end for Hamilton. Newman, number 74. And there's an injured player on the field. Newman calls for help from the bench. Tony Cursillo, the defensive captain for the Tiger Cats, their interior linebacker. Bob Kelly going into the game for Cursillo. Kelly regularly the offensive center for the Tiger Cats. A gain of 1 yard on that play by Kenny Plain, so it's 2nd and 9, Winnipeg. They're just over their own 45-yard line. Lewis flanking to the right. And Jim Van Pelt is buried back in the line of scrimmage. Back in the 40-yard line on the 38. Johnny Farrow in there. Harry Lampman also in on the play. The flag down on the field. The Hamilton Tiger Cats being called for offside. The 5-yard penalty puts the Winnipeg Blue Bombers just over the 50-yard line now. So it's 2nd and a little more than 3 yards for Winnipeg. They're on their just over their own 50-yard line. They hand off to Leo Lewis. Lewis up to midfield, and he is across the midfield stripe down to the 53, hit on the play by Bob Kelly. Now in there at interior linebacker, Kelly number 44. Kelly in for Tony Cursillo. It's first down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're in Hamilton territory. 5 minutes and 45 seconds remain in the first quarter. Hamilton 14, Winnipeg no score. They hand off to Charlie Shepard. Shepard across the 50-yard line, down to the 48. Dave Saminsky in to make the tackle. It's a 5-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5, Winnipeg. Just on the 49-yard line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Dale Lewis, flank to the left. They hand off to Kenny Plain. Plain's pass it to Charlie Shepard. Makes the pass on the 43-yard line, and he's across the 35 down to the 32-yard line. And he's hit by 3 Tiger Cats, led by Eddie Macon and Ralph Goldston. Milt Campbell also in on the tackle. Campbell, number 84, playing safety for the Tiger Cats. It's first down, Winnipeg on the Hamilton 31.5-yard line. The ball is sitting right between the 31 and 32 on the hash mark. Kenny Plain flank to the right. Lewis to the left. The handoff to Charlie Shepard. He's across the 35 and he dives down to the 30-yard line. Charlie Shepard diving down to the 30-yard line. Hit on the play by Milt Campbell. Campbell, number 84. Safety man for the Tiger Cats. And it's first down for the Blue Bombers just outside the Hamilton Tiger Cats 20-yard line. Kenny Plain flanks to the right along with John Marone. The handoff is to Lewis and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. He throws the pass to Jim Van Pelt. And Van Pelt is down to the 5-yard line and he's over for a touchdown. So there we have the pass, only touchdown to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Angelo Masca in there to rush Kenny Plain when he got the football, and he tosses the pass to Jim Van Pelt. Van Pelt's kick is good, and the score is now Hamilton 14, Winnipeg 7. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remain in the first quarter. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast. Bounces on the 20-yard line. Picked up by Ronnie Howell. He's across the 25 up to the 30-yard line, and Howell is dropped on the 33-yard line. Ernie Pitts, who made a fine block on the last play, which enabled the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to get the touchdown, makes the tackle on that play. Bombers went 79 yards in 9 plays for their touchdown, and that kickoff, 40 yards, run back 9. First and 10, Hamilton on the 34-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Bernie Poloni is the quarterback. Poloni's pass is a long one, way downfield, and it's knocked down by Keith Pierce. The pass intended for Tommy Grant. It'll be second and 10 for the Tiger Cats from the 34-yard line. Bernie Poloni now 2 for 5 in the passing department. Bud Grant talking it over at the Blue Bomber bench with his quarterback, Jim Van Pelt. Three minutes and 49 seconds remain in the first quarter here at Empire Stadium. Grey Cup Day, 1958. Maloney's pass this time is caught by Paul Decker on the 48-yard line. Decker is dropped by Keith Pierce, number 79, the defensive halfback for Winnipeg, and Norm Rawhouse, the defensive safety. It's a first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on their own 49-yard line. Hamilton 14, Winnipeg 7. Bernie Poloni, the quarterback. The rush put on by Herb Gray. Poloni decides to run the football. Savoy can't get to him. Poloni runs for the first down to the 50-yard line. Finally run into touch by Nick Miller, number 94. John Barone also chasing him into touch. Poloni, number 92. First down, Hamilton in Winnipeg territory. They're just inside the 49-yard line. Back to the left, Grant to the right, Howell. The handoff is given to Southern after the McDougall. Steve Patrick, Winnipeg's middle guard, making the tackle. A 4-yard gain on the play. It'll be second and 6 for the Tiger Cats. Now inside the Winnipeg 45. Less than 3 minutes remain in the first quarter. This time both Howell and Grant flank to the left. Bernie Poloni looking for the line with Buddy Tinsley in there to make the rush, and Buddy Tinsley drops Bernie Poloni for a big loss. Loss of 13 yards on the play, and Hamilton is now back in their own side of the field. The officials put the ball down on the 53-yard line. Cam Fraser in to do the punting for the Tiger Cats. Fraser's kick almost blocked, and the ball bounces down to the 22-yard line and bounces into touch. Buddy Tinsley in there to almost block that punt by Cam Fraser, which went 35 yards before bounding into touch, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers take over on their own 22-yard line with less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hamilton 14, Winnipeg 7. Winnipeg still with the same offensive lineup that started the ball game. Jim Van Pelt is the quarterback. The handoff is to John Barone. Barone dives across the 25-yard line, hit by Bob Kelly. John Barrow also in on the tackle. Kelly playing the interior linebacking spot in place of Tony Cursilla, who was injured early in the first quarter. The handoff is to Leo Lewis. Lewis up to the 25-yard line, and he's hit as he goes across the 25-yard line. Eddie Macon coming up from his defensive halfback spot to make the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 5, Winnipeg. The blockers go in for Charlie Shepard's punt. Ron Howell on the left, Eddie Macon walking across in front of him. The punt receivers for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Charlie Shepard, the Winnipeg punter, standing on his own 14-yard line. He gets a wobbly punt away, bounces at midfield, picked up by Macon on the 50-yard line. Macon hit hard on the 52-yard line. Dave Burkholder and Ed Kotowicz coming up to make the tackle on the 33-yard punt by Charlie Shepard. Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter here at Empire Stadium. Hamilton 14, Winnipeg 7. The minute flag up. 1st and 10 for the Tiger Cats. On the 52-yard line. Flanked away out to the left is Paul Decker. Bernie Filoni in the short punt formation. The pass is to Jerry McDougall. McDougall on the Winnipeg side of the 55-yard line. Brought down by Dave Burkholder. Roger Savoy also in on the tackle. It's a 6-yard gain for the Tiger Cats. 2nd and 4. They're just inside the Winnipeg 53-yard line. Just a few seconds remaining in the first quarter. Decker flanked away wide to the left. The handoff is given to Don Southern. Southern across the 45, down to the 40-yard line, and he's run into touch on the 38-yard line. Nick Miller making the tackle, and there goes the gun to sound the end of the first quarter. And now to bring you the second quarter play-by-play of this Grey Cup game, a veteran of these Grey Cup telecasts from Toronto, Steve Douglas.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. The situation on the field at Empire Stadium in Vancouver right now. The ball is 15 yards in from the far side, right on the hash marks. In the possession of the Hamilton Tiger Cats representing the East. It is on the Winnipeg 32-yard line. The nose of the football is just inches short. It is 1st down and 10 to go, and the Tiger Cats own a 7-point margin right now by 14-7. The line marker, check it. It's the 37, not the 32. Bernie Filoni, who has gone all the way, of course, for the Ticats, directs his team's offense, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers get their defense set for them in the vicinity of the 35-yard line, and we go to work once again. Flankers right and left for the Ticats. Don Southern trying to outleg the opposition that's chasing him and dragging him down deep is Gordy Rowland, one of the great defensive stars of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It got to him and knocked him down for a loss in the vicinity of 5 yards. Comes up 2nd down and 15 yards to go with the ball back midway between the 42 and 43-yard lines. And now it's on the near side of the field. Telecasting positions here on the west side of Empire Stadium in Vancouver. The spread goes in operation for the Ticats, not extending the full width of the field as they do it sometimes. Filoni rolling to the right. He's run successfully off this play this afternoon. He's going to leg it. Still on his feet. And finally nailed after he got inside the 35-yard line. Nick Miller is the number 1 man to make contact with him. Billy Graham, one of the smaller men on the entire football field this afternoon, hit with a pretty good block that sprung Filoni loose down inside the 35-yard line. So for the Tiger Cats from Hamilton, it is 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Officials place the ball down, 33.5-yard line. Don Southern will try a field goal for the Ticats. The ball will be held on the 42-yard line. Roland and Lateral are deep for Winnipeg, and it is short. Taken by Roland. He's up across the 15, still on his feet and down on the 25-yard line. A fine return by Gordy Roland. Harry Lampman and Tommy Grant coming in. A 19-yard run back on the field goal that seemed to be heading dead center but fell about 5-6 yards short. Blue Bombers put it in play. The ball is midway between the sideline stripes on the Bombers' 25-yard line. In the second quarter of the Grey Cup final for 58 at Empire Stadium, Vancouver, Jimmy Van Pelt is the Bomber quarterback. He bootlegged beautifully, almost lost it, passing on the far side to Gilliam. And he nails him, and he is hit almost immediately by Steve Honestchuk, the right corner linebacker for the Ticats. No signal. There it is now from the officials. First down. Officials marked down on the 36-yard line. First and 10 for the Blue Bombers. Here go the Bombers with Kenny Plain split wide on this end. And off is to Charlie Shepard, who plows his way up the middle, and he may have picked up another first down. He's got it. Ralph Golston, number one man to hit him defensively for the Tiger Cats after he picked up the first down. Shepard driving straight up the middle with a great powerful burst is up across the 46-yard line. First and 10 for the Bombers from there, who are on the move. John Barone tries the left side of the line for Winnipeg. He's piled up first by P.W. Underwood of the Tiger Cats after he got 3 yards, just on the 50-yard line. Johnny Barrow and P.W. Underwood combining to bring him down. Pickup is a little over 3. Second and about 7 to go. 12 minutes to halftime, which will feature a great deal of pageantry from here in Vancouver. Well worth your attendance. Lane is very wide on this side. There's a marker on the play. The ball carrier is nailed deep inside Charlie Shepard. Hamilton Ticats being picked up for offside by the officials. Vinnie Scott led the defensive charge for the yellow and black. Bowden coming out to make with those very excellent, easy to understand signals of his. Beth Gray has gone into the ball game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Ed Kotowich comes out. That is the third time the Ticats have been nicked for being offside this afternoon. Lane comes out as a very wide flanker on this side. Handing off to Leo Lewis, and the Lincoln Locomotive really picks him up and lays him down as he gets inside the 50-yard line before he is met by linebacker Harry Lampman. But it's another Blue Bomber first down. Ball is on the Hamilton Ticats 49-yard line. It's midway between the sideline stripes. And this Winnipeg drive started after Don Sutherland's lengthy field goal, attempting it from the 42-yard line and at a reasonably bad angle, 15 yards in from the far side, had fallen short, and Gordy Roland made a fine run back with it. Kenny Plain is a wide flanker to the far sidelines right now. Ball carrier is Johnny Barone. He tries the right side of the Hamilton defensive wall with not too much success. Number one man to hit him is John Barrow. And his pickup on the play brings the football up to the 45-yard line. The nose is just touching, so it's about 3.5 yards. Bombers taking lots of time in the huddle. Breakout. St. Louis very wide on this side. Van Pelt shooting down the middle. And a sensational completion down the middle by Ernie Pitts. And he is hit almost immediately by Ralph Goldston. On 2 or 3 occasions this afternoon, the ends who moved down and cut in rapidly have stolen that football right out of the hands of would-be interceptors or defenders, as the case may be. Konowich goes back in the Winnipeg lineup, replaces Gray. Jimmy Hughes, the Queens graduate, is calling defensive signals for the Tiger Cats in the absence of Tony Cursillo, who was hit early in the first quarter and has not come back in. Bootleg by Van Pelt coming this way. Knocked off balance by the first man who hit him, Eddie Macon, and the tackle completed by Big Paul Decker. And Lewis's forward progress is stopped down on the 31-yard line. It is second down and about 4 yards to go. The ball is on the Hamilton Ticats, 31-yard line. Flankers right and left. The drive goes up the middle with Shepard, the ball carrier, and he hits into Johnny Barrow first. Helping to contain Shepard was P.W. Underwood and Jimmy Hughes. And this leaves the Bombers with the ball on the Ticats, 29.5-yard line, third down and about 3 to go. Well, if there is a field goal attempt coming up by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, which is always possible, the Ticats have sent only one man back so far. Winnipeg's going to go. Van Pelt will try the air. He completes it to Gilliam, and Gilliam is hit down on the 17-yard line. Frank Gilliam, 6'2", 184 pounds. One of the offensive stalwarts of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, made a beautiful completion. He went down, cut in, turned around, and took the pass. And the officials have marked it down on the 16-yard line, and that is where corner linebacker Steve Onischuk and Eddie Macon came along to make the tackle. So the Bombers are definitely threatening here. Van Pelt bootlegs it. He's nailed. He gets it away. And it's batted down by Ralph Goldston in a key defensive play of this ball game so far. Kenny Plain was the intended receiver, about 10-12 yards in the end zone. How Van Pelt got that football away is a miracle, but the key defensive play was put on by Ralph Goldston, who at the last minute leaped high and batted it down. So it's second down and 10 to go, and the football is just inches shy of the 15-yard line. And the power swings to the left for Winnipeg. And Van Pelt rolls that way. Ticats chasing him. He shoots. It's completed and dropped. Gilliam, the intended receiver, undoubtedly is saying a lot of unkind things to himself on that one. He had turned around after a nice cut down, but lost the ball. So it's third and 10 on the 15. Bombers through the air, 5 for 7. Kenny Plain will hold for Van Pelt. Ball down on the 22. It's up. It is good. And the Hamilton Ticats lead has now been cut to 14 to 10 with about 8 minutes to go to halftime. And the man has just put that minute flag up on the sidelines. Now we'll see, with the Ticats deep in their own territory, what quarterback Bernie Filoni will pull out. Flankers left and right, Howell and Grant. Filoni bootlegs. He's being chased. Still on his feet. He's going to run. And he gets up to the original, not the original line of scrimmage, before he is met first by Herb Gray, a left end defensively for the Bombers. And that's the man who brought him down. His loss in the play is about 2.5, maybe 3 yards. Fitzpatrick was the principal man for the Bombers, putting the big rush on Filoni. But he actually spun into his own end zone, but managed to get out. Second down and just about 13 to go. 25 seconds. Grant flanks on this side. Howell a short flanker, a yard from the far sidelines. Filoni will try again. He's looking for Howell, throwing very deep. And he's bounced around in there, and the man who put the kibosh on it for the Ticats was Winnipeg's Nick Miller. They were double teaming Ronnie Howell, who tore down the right sidelines. Norm Rawhouse was the other man to break it up. So it's 3rd and 13. Halftime entertainment starts to form in various sections of the stadium. Certainly hope you'll be with us during halftime. According to the brief run-through we had an opportunity of watching early this morning, it should be a scintillating performance. Fraser is standing about a yard out from his goal line. The flag has gone down. It's blocked. It's in the end zone. Norm Rawhouse. Well, in case you can hear a single voice over this bedlam in Empire Stadium, Vancouver, it was Normie Rawhouse of the Blue Bombers, who comes from the Winnipeg Weston team originally, a Canadian 22-year-old youngster who's in his 3rd year with the club, who dove through, blocked the ball, and then followed it into the end zone, really bird-dogging on it, and latched onto it for the touchdown that puts the Bombers ahead. Van Pelt will try the conversion. Blaine will hold. Man, what a finish to this first half. It is good! And the gun sounds at the end of that last play, and our scoreboard shows you the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 20, the Hamilton Ticats 14.
Well, after watching the butchering of that late punt, you understand now why coaches always kneel down instead of kicking the ball away right before halftime. As a matter of fact, Trimble's decision to punt there would come under criticism from his own players. Angelo Mosca, King Kong, Big Nasty, one of the greatest and toughest players ever to play the Canadian game, would publicly rip his head coach for the decision to punt the ball there. So all of a sudden, Hamilton has gone from in control to in trouble. And the second half is coming up next. Tiger Cats, Bombers, 1958.
Jim Van Pelt will be doing the kicking. The kick is shallow. It goes to Grant on the 18-yard line. Grant is across the 30, and he's up to the 34-yard line. Walt Balicki pulls him down. Balicki, number 47 for Winnipeg. Helped in there by Ron Meadmore. So it's first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats after that 47-yard kickoff and 17-yard return on their own 35-yard line. Hamilton trails the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 20-14. The Tiger Cats in a wide spread. They pitches to McDougall. He's across the 35-yard line and up to the 40-yard line. Gordy Rowland pulls McDougall down. It's a gain of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5. Hamilton from the 40. Hamilton first down. 10 minutes, 35 seconds remain in the third quarter. Winnipeg leads 20-14. Filoni's pass intended for Howell, and Howell makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And the football game tied up. Howell, number 82. Hamilton 20, Winnipeg 20. 10 minutes, 19 seconds remain in the third quarter. The Tiger Cats going 60 yards in 5 plays. The key play being the 27-yard run on third down by Milt Campbell. Steve Monashuk will attempt the convert for Hamilton. Point which could put the Tiger Cats in front. The kick is good, and the Tiger Cats lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 21-20. And what a football game this has turned out to be. The Hamilton Tiger Cats bench, Ronnie Howell accepting the towel from the equipment men. The kickoff return men for Winnipeg, Kenny Plain, Leo Lewis, and Gordy Rowland. Don Southern will attempt the kickoff, will make the kickoff for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ball this time sitting straight up on the point, and Southern takes a straight run at it. The ball goes down to Kenny Plain on the 22. He's across the 30, and he's down on the 35-yard line. Gino DeNoble making the tackle. First and 10 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the 35-yard line. A 43-yard kickoff and a 13-yard return. Kenny Plain flanked to the right, Leo Lewis to the left. The handoff to Charlie Shepard. Shepard across the 35 up to the 38-yard line. Hit on the play by Dave Szymanski. It's 4.5-yard gain, and it's second and 5.5 for the Blue Bombers. Ed Kotovich going into the game. Herbie Gray coming out. Plain flanked wide to the right. Leo Lewis gets the handoff. He's across the 55, up to the 52-yard line. There's a flag down on the field. Illegal interference is the call. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be penalized. The ball going back to the 30-yard line, where it is now second and 15 for Winnipeg. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The sunshine out here at Empire, up here in Vancouver, and shining brightly down on Empire Stadium. Plain is the flanker to the left this time. The pitch is to John Barone, and Barone up to the 30-yard line. He gets up to about the 32, and he's knocked over. Paul Decker in there to make the tackle along with Eddie Macon. Don Southern also in there. Very short gain on the play, and Charlie Shepard will do the punting for the Blue Bombers. Shepard kick goes down to Eddie Macon on the 40-yard line. Macon up to the 45. There's a fumble on the play, and the ball is recovered by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Tony Cursillo. Bobby Dawson making the recovery on the play on the 39-yard kick by Charlie Shepard, but the officials moved the ball back to the 45-yard line. An offside lateral they're ruling that, as Macon fumbled forward, and the ball was picked up by Dawson. First and 10 Hamilton. Flanker way wide to the left is Paul Decker, the left end. Milt Campbell gets the football and goes across the 45 to the 48-yard line, and an 11-yard, 3-yard gain on the play as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers went into that play with only 11 men on their defensive team. Second and 6 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Macon flanked to the left, Lampman to the right. The short pitches to McDougall, and McDougall is hit as he grabs the football, gets back up to the line of scrimmage. Gar Warren coming up to make the initial tackle, and Steve Patrick in there pulling him down finally. The rush was put on by Cease Looney, Winnipeg's defensive right end. So it's third down for the Tiger Cats. They still need 6 yards. Less than 8 minutes remain in the third quarter. Hamilton 21, Winnipeg 20. Gordy Rowland, Ron Latterell, and Gordy Rowland back to receive for Winnipeg. Cam Fraser in to do the punting this time. It's a beautiful kick, and it backs Latterell right up. The ball bounces on the 5-yard line into the end zone. Goes Latterell, and he's out to the goal line, up to the 5, and he is finally dropped on the 7-yard line. Ralph Toohey, the first tackler in there. A 67-yard punt by Cam Fraser. Jim Van Pelt, the Blue Bomber quarterback, asks for a new football. Winnipeg's offensive backfield. Jim Van Pelt is the quarterback. Kenny Plain and Leo Lewis are the halfbacks. John Barone and Charlie Shepard are the fullbacks. The handoff is to Lewis. Lewis is across the 10 and up to the 13-yard line. Vince Scott coming in to make the tackle. Tony Cursillo coming up also. Cursillo, number 99, injured in the first quarter, back into the football game. It's a gain of about 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4, Winnipeg. Kenny Plain flanking to the left. The handoff is to Lewis again. Lewis across the 15-yard line. But just across, Harry Lampman coming in to make the tackle. Lampman, number 73. Leo Lewis just short of a first down. The Blue Bombers are third and just a little more than 1. Eddie Macon, number 90, and Ron Howell back to receive the punts for the Tiger Cats. Charlie Shepard doing the punting for Winnipeg. Shepard standing behind his own 5-yard line. It's a fine punt also. And it goes down to Macon on the 52-yard line. He fumbles the football, grabs it, and buries it on the 49. Frank Gilliam up there first. Flag down on the play. 43-yard punt, and the penalty is against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll wait and see what that is. The signal there. The officials signaled one way the first time, and they signaled another way the second time. But referee Harry Bowden is marching down to the Hamilton Tiger Cats 33-yard line. Rough play being called against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's first down for the Tiger Cats on the 33-yard line. 6 minutes, 7 seconds remain in the third quarter. Hamilton leads Winnipeg 21-20. The two ends flanked wide. Bernie Filoni pitches the ball. There's a fumble on the play, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers recover the football, and it bounces out of the Bombers' hand, and it's recovered by Gordy Rowland again. Came in there tough on Bernie Filoni and Jerry McDougall, and the ball recovered by Gordy Rowland. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers take over on the Hamilton 23-yard line. Winnipeg fans in the crowd or all the Western fans in the crowd really pulling for the Blue Bombers at this stage of the ball game. Jim Van Pelt signals Leo Lewis to get it flanking wider to the left. The rush is put on. The pass is to Kenny Plain, and it's incomplete. Plain well covered on the play. Harry Lampman over there, along with Don Southern. Second and 10 for the Blue Bombers. They're just inside the 24-yard line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Hamilton 21, Winnipeg 20. 5 minutes, 15 seconds remain in the third quarter. Lewis flanked to the left again. Kenny Plain gets the football. The pass is to Charlie Shepard. Shepard makes the grab on the 15. He's down to the 10, and he's down to the 6-yard line. Charlie Shepard, number 91. Bobby Dawson, who went into the football game when Ralph Goldston was thrown out in the first half, came up to make the tackle on Shepard, and it's first down Winnipeg on the Hamilton Tiger Cats 6-yard line. The handoff is to Lewis, and he's up to the 5-yard line, and he's met by the Hamilton line, led by John Barrow. Paul Decker also in on the tackle. Barrow number 61, Decker number 75. Very little gain on the play, and the officials having an awful time trying to unpile them. Leo Lewis, number 99, little scuffle as he comes out of the pilot. Number 99 is Tony Crisello. And big 64 is Dave Saminsky, 240-pounder for the Tiger Cats. Herb Gray has gone in at offensive guard for Winnipeg. Ed Kotowicz comes out at second down, 5 yards to the goal line for Winnipeg. Winnipeg playing in tight this time. And there's Charlie Shepard gets the ball, and there's hankies all over the field. The Hamilton Tiger Cats being called for offside as the Hamilton lineman jumped the gun. The penalty will be half the distance to the goal line or the gain where they want it. Jim Van Pelt, the Blue Bomber quarterback, talking it over, along with Steve Honestchuk of Hamilton, number 81, and referee Harry Bowden. And Bowden is going to lay the football down halfway between the 5-yard line and the goal line. There will be second down for the Blue Bombers. Second down, 2.5 yards to the goal line. And a fine shot by the creepy peepee camera. The handoff is to Charlie Shepard, and he slips and he goes over for the touchdown. Go to the front in the football game. Winnipeg 26, Hamilton 21 with 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Jim Van Pelt will attempt the convert for Winnipeg. Kenny Plain is going to hold the football. The kick is good, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers lead 27-21. This Grey Cup telecast is coming to you from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. And now Jim Van Pelt will attempt the kickoff once again. Ronnie Howell on the left, Eddie Macon on the right to receive the kickoff deep for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Van Pelt not satisfied with the way that football is standing. The kickoff goes out to Macon on the 21-yard line. He is across the 35 and up to about the 38. Walt Bulicki coming in to make the tackle again. The paid attendance here at Empire Stadium in Vancouver, 34,226, far short of 1955 when more than 39,000 people came to watch the first football game, the first Grey Cup game, to be played in Western Canada. First and 10 Hamilton on their own 38-yard line. The handoff taken by Jerry McDougall, and McDougall is up to the 45-yard line, crosses the 45, hit by Frank Rigney. It's a 7-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 3 for Hamilton. The handoff taken once again by Jerry McDougall. Gar Warren coming up from his interior linebacking spot to make the tackle. Warren, number 44. It's 3rd down for the Tiger Cats, and there'll be a measurement. At least it's 2nd down over, and there'll be a measurement. First down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats with 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Winnipeg 27, Hamilton 21. One of the all-time great Grey Cup football classics. Hamilton on their own 48-yard line, and the 3-minute whistle sounds. Ronnie Howell flanking wide to the right. Milt Campbell in at fullback and gets the pitch out. Campbell goes across the 50 up to the midfield stripe, and Campbell is finally pulled down on the Winnipeg side of the field. Steve Patrick making the first tackles. Patrick, number 63, Roger Savoy in there also, number 62. Campbell and Steve Patrick as tackler playing leapfrog. Very close to a first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1. Kenny Plain in at defensive halfback for Winnipeg now. Maloney tells Howell to get way over by the sidelines. The handoff is given to Campbell, and Campbell across the 50 down to the 49-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Tiger Cats. Dave Burkholder making the tackle, the initial tackle. And it's first down Hamilton just over the Winnipeg, inside the Winnipeg 50. Less than 2 minutes remain in the 3rd quarter. Winnipeg 27, Hamilton 21. Maloney's pass to Decker, and Decker makes the grab on the 40-yard line. He's down to the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Pulled over by Gordy Rowland, Winnipeg's right corner linebacker, and it's another first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. These teams going up and down the field reminiscent of the days when the Montreal Alouettes and the Edmonton Eskimos were battling each other here in Empire Stadium back in 1955. Less than a minute and a half remains in the 3rd quarter. Maloney fakes the handoff. The long pass is intended for Ronnie Howell in the end zone, and Howell makes the catch for the touchdown. Ronnie Howell makes the catch over Kenny Plain as the Hamilton Tiger Cats go 72 yards in 6 plays, and these teams not wasting any time picking up the points. Hamilton 27, Winnipeg 27. We're in the 3rd quarter with a minute and 12 seconds remaining. Steve Onishuk will attempt the convert for Hamilton. Bernie Filoni, who is 4 for 5 in the second half with 2 touchdown passes to his credit. He holds the football, which is a kick for a point, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats go to the front again. The Hamilton Tiger Cats will kick off to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Chet Mixa in there to do the kicking. Taking over from Don Sutherland. Mixa's kick is a high, short one. Goes down to Kenny Plain on the 22-yard line. Plain across the 25, up to the 30. He's free on the 35, and he is finally pulled down by Tony Cursillo on the 41-yard line. The officials spot the ball on the 42. 43-yard kickoff by Chet Mixa. A 20-yard return by Kenny Plain. It'll be first down, Winnipeg, on their own 42-yard line. They now trail by 1 point. Less than a minute to play here in the third quarter. Leo Lewis gets the ball. His long pass is to Ernie Pitts, and it's over Pitts' head. Ernie Pitts in there behind the Hamilton defenders, Steve Otischuk and Bobby Dawson, and Leo Lewis overthrew him. The minute flag up here in the third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Blue Bombers from their own 42-yard line. Kenny Plain flanking to the right. And Van Pelt looks for his receivers, decides to run the ball. He's out across the midfield stripe, and he's finally run into touch. The officials mark it on the 53-yard line. Steve Otischuk in there to knock Jim Van Pelt into touch. First down for the Blue Bombers. Just a few seconds remaining in the third quarter. Hamilton 28, Winnipeg 27. Van Pelt hands off to Leo Lewis. Lewis across the 50s down to the 46-yard line, finally pulled over by a mass of Tiger Cats, and there goes the gun to sound the end of the third quarter. And now here with the play-by-play of the fourth quarter of this, possibly one of the greatest of the Grey Cup games, Steve Douglas.
Okay, Bob. Ball is on the Ticats' 46-yard line. 28-27 for Hamilton. Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the attack. Jimmy Van Pelt is the quarterback. And it is 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Lewis comes wide on this side as a flanker, 10 yards from the sidelines. Ball carrier is John Barone, who crashes through right up the middle. Gets down to the 37-yard line for a Bomber first down. And Harry Lampman is the number 1 man on the tackle for Hamilton. Weather conditions out here, after a brief sprinkle of rain about an hour before game time, have been just about ideal. The condition of the turf would best be called spongy, but insofar as the spectators are concerned, they're having a real field day today. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Van Pelt looking, hitting Lewis, and Lewis is hit almost immediately by Eddie Macon, right down on the 30-yard line. So the pickup on the play is 7 yards. One of the Blue Bombers is shaken up on the play. It is Ed Kotowich, racked up just briefly, getting some attention from the Winnipeg Trainers Department out on the field. Incidentally, with the ball game at 28-27 here in the early minutes of the fourth quarter, there is always the possibility that comes into somebody's mind, what happens if there's a tie at the end of regulation play? Well, should that happen, the teams will not leave the field they will play 2 10-minute quarters or periods, if you prefer to call them that. And then if no decision has been reached at the end of these 2 periods, at which time they'll change ends, they'll go off the field for a rest and try it again. Piper has replaced Kotowich in the Blue Bomber lineup. Ball carrier is Ferrone again, and there is a marker down on the field for an offside call against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Vinnie Scott led the defensive thrust. Old Golden Dome, number 53, had John Barrow right alongside him, and also a fellow who's doing a fine job backing up the line for Hamilton today in the person of Harry Lampman. The offside penalty against the Ticats gives Winnipeg 1st and 10 on Hamilton's 25-yard line. Van Pelt rolling towards the far sideline, shoots an end run, almost intercepted, but completed! To Kenny Plain, who may or may not be over in that far corner. No signal from the officials. He stopped about a yard from the goal line. It was Milt Campbell who brought down Kenny Plain as the Bombers come roaring back. They're a point behind right now. About 13 and a half minutes to the end of the game. 1st and goal to go, a yard out. Kenny Plain asked for the crowd to hush things down a little bit. Shepard was the man in motion. Touchdown, Winnipeg! Quarterback Jimmy Van Pelt goes over on a sneak, 1 yard for the Winnipeg TD, and puts the Bombers in front now by 33-28. And Mr. Van Pelt, who has been doing a pretty fair country job of running this Bomber offense this afternoon, will be the man who tries to add another point. And Kenny Plain will hold it for him. He'll place it down about the 17-yard line. And it's good. Yards in 8 plays. The Bombers traveled on that one. This Grey Cup telecast is coming to you from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. Howell and Macon are set to receive. Van Pelt kicks, low dribbler, picked up by, well, Tommy Grant decides finally to pick it up in the 25-yard line. Ernie Pitts puts a big grab on him right away. Checking back on Van Pelt's performance this afternoon, we total 22 points for him on 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and 4 conversions. 22 points for Winnipeg quarterback Jimmy Van Pelt. That was a 2-yard kickoff return by Tommy Grant from the 25 to the 27 on the 40-yard kickoff by that same Mr. Van Pelt. Ticats trailing by 28-34. Maloney at quarterback. Milt Campbell trying the right side of the line, gets just about nowhere. He is hit first by Roger Savoy, number 62. Let there be no mistake about it. There is an awful lot of hard, rough, rock'em, sock'em football going out on this Empire Stadium field this afternoon. Herb Gray is the boy temporarily incapacitated insofar as the Bombers are concerned. Had the wind knocked out of him, and they are giving him the old pump motion to get him back into action. He's been the usual tower of strength insofar as Winnipeg is concerned this afternoon. Crowd gives him a great hand as he gets up. There he goes off the field under his own steam. Not quite so much as he had before, but enough. Ron Meadmore goes in to play a defensive end spot for the Bombers. So does Dave Burkholder. He'll take up an inside linebacking position. It is Hamilton ball on their own 27-yard line. Second down, 10 to go. Powell is the single flanker. He is wide toward the far sidelines. Filoni bootlegging, tripped up one of his own men, and very wisely decided to hang onto the ball as Steve Patrick put a covering tackle on him along with Cease Looning. So the Hamilton club is forced to punt the football, and it will be the customary pair, Gordy Rowland and Ron Latourelle, who are back for Winnipeg to receive. Cam Fraser, who usually does all the Ticats booting, is in this time. Bernie Filoni hoisted one for them in the third quarter. Winnipeg receivers are at the 42 and 45-yard line. Fraser standing on his own 10. He gets the ball away very rapidly, and a nice one. Taken by Rowland at the 44. Two tacklers sliding by him, Ralph Toohey and Chet Mixa, and he is down on the 50-yard line by Zeno Karts, and the kick by Fraser was good for 44 yards from the line of scrimmage. Speaking of the tremendous weather here this afternoon, that temperature pre-game of 47 degrees is the highest reading that a Grey Cup game has been played under since way back in 1941. And if you'd like a coincidence, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won a Grey Cup in that year. John Barone carries, tries the left side, trying to cut back in, and 3 or 4 Ticat tacklers are there for him, led by Tony Casillo and Milt Campbell. That's Casillo, number 99, who calls defensive signals for the Hamilton club. 11 minutes to the end of the ball game. Incidentally, there will be many fine personalities in the business world and the sports world, particularly football, of course, being interviewed shortly after this ball game is over. So stay right with us. Van Pelt bootleg, shoots in the lead run, or any pitch at the 50-yard line. Pitch gets away from the first, the second man, and tries to do a clothesline job down. It's no touchdown, no touchdown. 2 officials caught him stepping out of bounds on the 31-yard line, but a chorus of boos greets the men in the striped shirts, who, let's say right now, have done a whale of a job today under mighty tough circumstances. They have had their hands full all afternoon. This is one of the roughest, toughest games in Grey Cup history. The ball is on the 31-yard line. That's Hamilton's 31. Blue Bombers, 1st and 10. Charlie Shepard carries, tries over left guard. John Barrow, first man to get to him. P.W. Underwood also on the tackle. Van Pelt, incidentally, has completed 4 out of 6 passes in this second half of the ball game. Herb Gray coming in for the Winnipeg club. And Cornell Piper leaves the game momentarily. Zeminski replaces Scott in the defensive lineup for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Bootlegging again by Van Pelt down the middle. Intended receiver Frank Gilliam, and it was a little bit too much of a lead pass, a little too hot to handle. He was being checked pretty closely by Bob Dawson of the Ticats. So it is 3rd down. Yardage to go, about 6. And there just could be a field goal attempt coming up here. The Winnipeg Board of Strategy, led by that splendid young coach, Bud Grant, may be calling for that. We'll see when they break the huddle. They lead 34-28. Charlie Shepard has moved back to his 40-yard line, and Howell and Macon go into the end zone. Shepard gets away, a great kick, and fans are going to, well, they don't interfere, but they came very, very close to it. A scene like that recalls a Grey Cup game here in '55 when they were unable to try a convert at the end of the ball game because of fan interference. 9 minutes, 38 seconds, says the clock here. 35-28, the scoreboard. And the big 35 belongs to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. If you're wondering about recent Grey Cup games that produced large scores, 56 was the most productive insofar as two teams were concerned when Edmonton beat Montreal 50-27, a total of 77 points for both clubs. First and 10 for the Ticats, their 25-yard line. Wide pitch out is to Campbell. He's nailed. A beautiful shoestring tackle laid in there by Herb Gray, who plays left end defensively for the Bombers, number 53. Campbell was a bit slow coming up off the ground, but he's all right. Kenny Plain is coming in to play a defensive post for the Bombers. Replaces Nick Miller. Plain will go in at a defensive halfback spot. Flankers are right and left for the Ticats. Filoni will shoot. He does, and it's completed on the far side. Ronnie Howell, the receiver for the Ticats, which brings them pretty close to first down spot. John Barone put the stop on him, along with Norm Rawhouse. Thinking back to those tie possibilities in this Grey Cup game, a converted touchdown for the Ticats right now would tie things all up again. An up-and-down ball game insofar as the scoreboard is concerned. It's had the spectators up and down in their seats, that's for sure. First and 10, Hamilton. Just over the 35-yard line. Milt Campbell, and he is wrestled down to the ground by a host of bomb attackers led by Captain Buddy Tinsley, number 64. A big guy who plays right tackle both ways. Steve Patrick is number 63 there. Number 73 is Cease Looning for the Bombers. 44 is Garland Warren. 79, Keith Pierce. Second down and 10 for the Ticats, just over their 35. Filoni still got it. He's going to run, and he is almost trapped. Got a nice block that sprung him loose for 2 or 3 yards, and he managed to get up across the 40-yard line before he was hit down by Dave Burkholder. So the Ticats will have third down and just about 5 yards to go. Deep men as usual for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Ron Latterell and Gordy Rowland. Fraser is back inside his 30-yard line. The receivers are down around the 25 and 35. Latterell lets it bounce, picks it up finally on the 26-yard line, and is hit down almost immediately on the far side of the field. First man to get to him was Jimmy Hughes, and little Billy Graham was in there, Johnny on the spot as well. The kick was good for 44 yards from the line of scrimmage, and this is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast. In previous Grey Cup competition, teams from these two cities competing today, Hamilton and Winnipeg, have met 4 times. Hamilton has won 3. They won in 53 and 57, the most recent. Filoni will try the air again. Looks down. He hit Macon, and Macon made a sensational grab of it with 2 Winnipeggers hanging on to him. Kenny Plain finally gets him, along with Gordy Rowland, and the Ticats have first down on Winnipeg's 42.5-yard line. Underwood comes in the game, and DeNoble goes out. That is in the Hamilton lineup. Partial spread in operation here with Filoni looking, throwing down, and a great catch by Paul Decker. He's wrestled down to the ground inside the 25-yard line. Kenny Plain got to him first for the Bombers. So through the air, 2 quick strikes, Filoni to Macon and then to Decker, and good catches on both. The Ticats have moved down and are really threatening. Walt Bilicki comes in defensively for the Bombers, and number 52, Dave Burkholder, comes out. 3 minutes, 55 seconds. Howell flanks to the right, Macon on the left, and Decker is split about 5 yards from left end. Filoni will try it again. Or will he? He's running. And out of bounds he goes in the vicinity of the 18-yard line. Herb Gray got to him first, along with Nick Miller, and pushed him out. And there's a Bomber injured on that last play. Lewis carries again. Cuts back inside. He's up very close to a first down. He is hit down by Eddie Macon defensively for the Ticats. They're going to call for a measurement, and there's a good possibility the dog will help them out on this. Well, he's a friendly little perp. He's right in there. Anybody wants to make book on who tackles the dog, it's all in his favor. First down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Gordy Rowland has replaced Leo Lewis in Winnipeg's offensive backfield. Kenny Plain comes out flanking on this side. Van Pelt hands off to Charlie Shepard. Look at him burst. He is running. And he is dragged down from behind by Milt Campbell. Charlie Shepard, who really bursts into the clear. And Campbell, a great all-round athlete, former world decathlon champion, had enough speed to grab hold. We have 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go. 35-28 for Winnipeg. That was a 48-yard gallop by Shepard. And Leo Lewis has gone back in for the Bombers, and Rowland has come out. Ball is on the Ticats' 40-yard line. It's 15 yards in from the near sidelines. And whatever you do, don't go away from that TV set. Barone carries, fumble! Recovered by the Ticats. Looks like a fellow by the name of Vinny Scott. Old Golden Dome of the Ticats. So-called for rather obvious reasons. Not too much hair in the top of his head. He's been around Hamilton parts in football for something like 9 years. 230 pounds, give or take a few, 5'8". Minute 54 on the clock. 35-28 for the Bombers. This is a heart stopper, that's for sure. Filoni still got it. Shooting on the side, it's complete. And the receiver is ridden down to the ground on the 47-yard line by Nick Miller. Harry Lampman latched onto that one from Filoni. Going into the game for Winnipeg defensively is Bob Hobart. Coming out, Frank Rigney. A minute 24 left to go. Howell flanks to the right, Macon on this side. Filoni's going to run it at the 50. Across midfield. Dumped down by Nick Miller. That will give the Ticats a first down. The man with the minute flag is prepared to hold it high in just a few seconds. 35-28. Winnipeg over Hamilton. A few seconds, over a minute to go. Up goes the minute flag. And the stadium starts to pick up, and you'll hear one tremendous roar when this game is over. Maloney shoots down the middle, complete to Jerry McDougall. And he goes down on the 45-yard line, and Nick Miller once again, for the third time in the last 4 defensive efforts, makes the tackle. 44 seconds, says the clock. Second down and about a foot to go. The ball is on Winnipeg's 45-yard line. You couldn't ask for a more thrilling finish. Maloney throws very long, and it may be intercepted. It is intercepted by Kenny Plain of the Bombers, who is Normie Rawhouse. Comes up with it eventually, and there's a marker down on the field. And the clock shows 15 seconds to the end of the game. Maloney's pass, which was just about a desperation effort, he had 2 big Blue Bombers breathing down his neck, bounced around between 2 or 3 of the Bombers and the lone intended receiver deep downfield, Ronnie Howell. And a piling on penalty has been called by the officials against the Ticats. It is Bombers' ball, 1st and 10 on the Winnipeg 34-yard line. And the crowd is beginning to move out of the stands towards the sidelines, and wait till you see this field the moment the final gun goes off. Clock shows no time left, but the minute flag is still up. It's all over. Final score, Winnipeg 35, Hamilton 28. Stay with us by all means. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast.
Well, just a quick story about the hero of this game for the Blue Bombers, Jim Van Pelt. Van Pelt had 22 points in that game. That is still second all-time for one Grey Cup game. 19 years after this one, 1977, the Alouette kicker Don Sweet would have 23 points, and that's the current record. But Van Pelt wasn't supposed to be the quarterback in this game. The quarterback was Kenny Plain, who's recently been voted as the best Blue Bomber of all time. But Plain had been injured during that season. He was such a great athlete, he played defensive back in this game, but it was Van Pelt who came off the bench and was the hero. A terrific story. You know, the Blue Bombers and Tiger Cats, this was a situation where they played in 3 Grey Cup games in 4 years. And in addition to this one, in 1961 it would be the first ever overtime Grey Cup, and 1962, of course, was the famous Fog Bowl, where the teams had to come back and play the next day because nobody could see what was happening on the field on December the 1st, 1962. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow night we're back with the 1969 version, Russ Jackson's final game. All right, here's the schedule for this weekend. Saturday, the CFL on CBC begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific with Walby's Warriors, to be followed by our official Grey Cup preview. Then Sunday, we're on air at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific with Grey Cup Sunday, the 95th championship game to follow.
CBC Sports, Canada's Olympic network, home of the champions.